I'm Nikki, and this is Heather.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk about what is empowerment to us and what it means to be empowered and how do we empower ourselves. So, to be empowered means to own your power. It doesn't mean you never feel afraid or uncertain, but it means that you choose courage over comfort when it matters. And empowerment shows up in different ways for different women. For some, it's leaving that toxic relationship. For some, it's starting that business or setting boundaries or simply saying no without guilt. And a lot of women face the same challenges every day. So we're here to talk a little bit about what it means to us and how you become empowered. So first, let's ask Heather, what does empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment means stepping out of your comfort zone, facing your fears, knowing your patterns and how to fix them, knowing how your words impact others in a negative and positive way. Basically, I feel like it's just being more self aware.
Right? Right. I totally agree with that. Knowing your worth, recognizing where you've been and what you've gone through, and to not give away your power. And, like I said, know your worth, ladies. I also feel like it's having boundaries, setting boundaries for yourself, but not letting people take advantage of those boundaries and knowing where you need to be mentally so that you can be the best version of yourself and show up for everybody. What is empowerment?
Well, I know, like in the dating world, since we're always talking about that, let's talk about it. But I know what I want in someone, and I give them a few chances. I got my little list on my paper of all the things that if they check off or not, and I give them about 5 or so chances, and then otherwise I kick them to the curb because we don't have a lot of time in life, and we have to enjoy every moment, and we have to be around people that make us 100% happy.
I agree. I agree. The dating world is it's hard out there in the dating world after 40 years old. And you have boundaries like you're saying in the dating world. And I feel like to be empowered, you have to be confident. So where does this confidence come from? Where would you say it comes from? Like small steps, right?
Yeah, small steps for sure.
Yeah, like
Um,
speaking up in a meeting or asking for help. Heather and I were just talking about asking for help. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. You used to have an issue with that, and
Yeah, I just learned that at this age. I've been very stubborn in not asking for help and just trying to figure out how to do everything by myself. But just recently, over the last month, I've realized it's okay to ask for help. I'm self aware of that.
my grandmother used to say, "A closed mouth does not get fed."
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, in my opinion, community, can feel empowering when you have other people of like-mindedness that can support you in your troubles, and you have a place to go and talk to
Yeah,
people,
a
and
good support system.
for sure, surrounding
Yes,
yourself with people who lift you up instead of draining you.
yes. You can't have people drain you because they will.
So, I just want to talk a little bit about what empowerment looks like to everybody because it's different for everyone. It's a woman in her 50s starting a new career. It's, a woman in her 40s having a baby, or even I don't know if they're doing that in their 50s now, but I think they might be. Finally saying that you deserve better, maybe in a toxic relationship or walking away from a situation that isn't honoring you. And it's not an
Even if it's complicated, much happier.
and we're not saying that it's easy, but we're saying that we're trying to create a sisterhood and a safe space for women to transform and to let go of all that and to be the support system. So we want to help empower women by being that support and sharing what we've also been through. And empowerment is not about perfection, so it's about progress. It's about realizing that you already have the strength to do what you need to do, and you just got to go do it. It's choosing you.
And it's okay to fail. It's okay.
I think you have to fail
It's the
because
only
how are
way to
you gonna
learn.
know success if you don't fail, right?
Yeah.
So this is a no judgment zone, and here's the truth about the women's empowerment and the travel. Travel changes you. It's not just the workshops that we do. It's not just the excursions, and we do transformational things that you can keep with you forever. Heather and I were just talking about one of the retreats that she came home from, and she still has her paperwork and all the things, and mixed in there with the travel and adventure, that's where the transformation comes in.
Yeah. Paperwork meaning, like some of our workshops and sister circles.
It's something that we did as a group, and
Yeah.
everybody went around and said something really nice about the other person,
Yeah.
and at the end you have something to take with you that just all these really nice things about yourself, and you can
Right.
look back when you're feeling a little low in confidence and say,
Yep.
someone said I was smart, someone said I was kind, someone said,
Yeah.
so
And there's things that they're going to discover about you that you didn't even realize. So it's nice to hear those things.
it's a good reflection, and it also gives you a space where you can analyze yourself and then see what other people say about you and see how that aligns. That's always very interesting to me. With travel, the reflection and the release, when it comes to you and you feel transformed, you'll see how it all plays in with the travel and the workshops and the sister circle. This is not just for adventurers. This is going to be for women that really want to go home feeling empowered, feeling better, feeling more confident. And we really love to see that. So
Yeah. I mean, just going on a trip by yourself, I mean, booking that flight and getting to the airport, it's just very, very empowering. I felt like a different woman when I got back from Egypt.
I know a few ladies that have been married for a long time and maybe with a significant other, and they are so used to traveling with that person or with their family or with their children. And it sounds scary to go by yourself, but that's why we have this sisterhood. And that's why we travel together. And yeah, I mean, it's better than going solo because you're solo, but you're not,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Best of both worlds.
So yeah, we'll explore new places and we'll laugh and we'll have adventures, but it's not just a trip, it's a journey inward. And you'll have moments to reflect on who you've been, what you've been carrying, and when it's finally time to let it go.
We're all
And
about releasing.
we are definitely about releasing and the things that no longer serve you and they don't get to come with you in your next chapters. If you're going through this midlife thing, if we're all going through it together, but everyone's circumstances are different. And this is a perfect time to get together and to transform your confidence, your insecurities, your worry. I know worry is a big one for me, so that's going to be something that I'm really going to try to release. I'm a worry wart.
I tend to let things go maybe too quickly. Probably I don't know.
And I think through these experiences, you're gonna see yourself as stronger. You're gonna see yourself as, you're differently and more capable. So that's gonna affect and trickle down to every situation in your life, your work, everything.
It will.
So yeah, it's all about shifting how you feel about yourself. So you won't come back the same. And it's just not something you talk about, it's something you experience. And on this retreat, you're gonna fully experience. You're gonna immerse yourself in the experience.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be transformational.
Yeah, we have sisterhood circles, the workshops, and then along with all the adventures and then all the different locations. It all helps empower women.
So what else is empowering? I mean, what are some of the things that our listeners can do to empower themselves?
Well, for me, I go to dinner by myself sometimes. I mean, I have a daughter, but when she's like with her dad, I go to dinner by myself. I'll even sit at the bar and eat dinner. The movies, that's fun to go by yourself. A walk in the woods, love that.
So, I'm going to just dive a little deeper about what it means to be empowered. It's almost like, okay, this is a little risque, but it's like when you don't take a man's BS is very empowering. You know what I mean? If you just don't take a man's BS, I mean, I feel like, it's just like go woman, we're not going to deal with it's a boundary, right? It's
Yeah,
a
it
boundary.
is. I was just dealing with that the other day. A new person. I'm not going to go into details, but I'll just say, but I'll just say I was on it with everything he would say that was annoying
Heather's
me.
in the dating world.
Yes,
She's talking about
yeah.
dating.
But I was on him like white on rice. So
Yeah. Well, she's got her list.
I do. I
So
got my list.
if he's not meeting,
No, he's not.
he's out of here.
Yeah.
But I mean, where does your confidence come from? Because you're a very confident woman. Were you raised to be confident? Where does confidence come from for women that are struggling with that? Yeah, but that comes from somewhere. Like my mom is this 4'11" lady, but she's very tough and she's very strong. And she's a no nonsense lady. And I feel like that's where I got my confidence from. My mom always said, shout out to my mom. But she always taught me to believe in myself and to go after my dreams and that when girls were mean to me it's just because they were jealous. I don't know if that's true or not, but thanks mom, that made me feel better anyways.
If a guy didn't want to date me, my dad, he was too intimidating because I was too pretty.
Right.
That always made me feel good.
Right.
But no, I think okay, so I have two strong women in my family, my mom and my aunt. So I feel like between the two of them, I mean, they're definitely in charge of their lives, their husbands, and my dad's great and my uncle's great, but definitely the women rule the roost in the family. So I think I just observe them a lot. That has to be why I'm confident.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of aunts. I have a couple aunts too that are empowering. They don't mess around. They're the women rule the roost too, but they also have that old school thing where they wait on their husband's hand and foot and that's what I come from, a background where it's just like, serve the man. I'd be like, yeah, where's I don't have it figured out. I am a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I've been through a lot and
We all are.
I've been through a lot in my life. I've had some traumas and, we'll share that later on, but and I've come a long way because a lot of the things that have been meant to break me over the years, I feel like have made me stronger. Like I build with the bricks that have been thrown at me. So, I have my own testimony and my own story, and I'm also a spiritual life coach for my clients, with massage therapy. But it's made me stronger. I mean, a lot of people would have just crumbled. They'd have been like, I can't take this, I can't do this, but not me. I'm very proud of that. I'm
Yeah,
very proud of that.
that's
So
huge,
yeah,
and that you recognize it too.
right. Self
Yeah,
awareness. It's part of being
yeah,
confident. It's part of being empowered.
yeah, it is.
So we wanted to let people know that this is not just a trip, not just a fun trip. We're wild souls. We really feel like there's more to life. We want to get out there and experience things, but I definitely feel like I want to show up as the best version of myself, and to do that I need a little bit more confidence. And, these trips are over the top transformational. So we really, really want people that are, we don't just want anybody to come with us. We want you to come with us if you're going through something and you want to get over something. If you just need a change in your life, it's going to be like a midpoint in your life, a crossroads
Oh,
in
yeah,
your life. So
yeah.
yeah,
When I started going on retreats, originally I was waiting to travel because I wanted to find someone, and none of my friends, either they didn't want to go or they couldn't afford to go or something. And then I was looking for a boyfriend to travel with, and then that didn't happen. So I found the whole retreat world, and I mean, that's been the biggest change in my life was going on these retreats and being around these type of women and wanting to inspire them. And I don't know, you're just with all these like-minded women. It's just great.
Heather is very courageous. I mean, if you told her she was taking a flight to Timbuktu tomorrow, she'd be like, "Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm there."
Yeah, my mom would be like, "There's travel advisories that are," she'll tell me people are gonna take my organs
Right.
and
Well,
stuff.
I mean, that's
It
not it's
it can
good to be cautious,
it's
but,
okay to be
we take care
cautious.
of all that, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, but I feel like there's always gonna be in a travel advisory somewhere. If
Yeah.
we don't just take these chances, we're never gonna go anywhere,
And it's
so
never the right time, right? I mean, it's just
never
like
the right
having a
time.
child and the rest of the things that come at the right time, you
Yeah,
have to just do it.
do it.
And that's part of being empowered. But once you do it, you're gonna feel I remember my first flight to Germany was 9 hours, and I was petrified, and when I finally did it, I said, wow, I did it, flying across the ocean, and it was very difficult for me, and I did it. I felt so much better. I was like,
Yeah,
"I'm down to travel
yeah.
now."
I went to Trinidad before and, that goes over the Bermuda Triangle. So, I was a little nervous about that, but everything was fine. Then my mom thought the Venezuelans were gonna take me, sex traffic me, I
Oh,
think, but no, nothing happened.
well, good, you're still here,
I'm
that's
still
good, you're
here.
in one piece, that's awesome. So, okay, so I'm gonna ask you a little bit about, do you have a superpower? Because, okay, you are very confident, you have your own business, you go to these weddings, and you just get right in the middle of this wedding party, probably out on the dance floor, all these things, she just throws herself in the mix, and she's confident about it, she's not hiding out, you're showing up for yourself, so what is your superpower? Like, what is the most empowering thing about you?
Well, when I shoot weddings, I feel like I don't know, I feel like a lot of people can relate to me, so I just go in to that family and become part of the family. It could be years of shooting weddings.
That's not typically how people feel. They're not that confident to just
Yeah.
go and say, "Hey, I'm part of your
Oh,
family."
no, like, I go into it thinking, "Give me 5 minutes, we're all gonna be family, and me and the bride are gonna be best friends." Like, it I don't know.
And she does have a personality that's very welcoming and warm and
Yeah,
sweet,
I do.
and yeah, you're easy, you're very lovable, easy
Yeah.
to love.
But that's also with shooting boudoirs. I shoot boudoirs in here in the studio, and, people always feel comfortable. They're always nervous at first, within the first, I don't know, we'll say 5 minutes, they're nervous, and then they're totally confident and
Because you're comfortable. It's comfortable here. Her studio is really awesome too.
yeah.
So I will just say this, in my spiritual coaching that I do, Um, I'm not religious. I'm not a religious person. When I say spiritual coaching, it's just how to worship God or worship the universe, the good in the universe, and the love and everything without having religion involved. So I get a lot of feedback from my clients that say the one thing about me that they love is that I will always choose myself when it's time. I can release what no longer serves me in a way that, it's like I know I get to my boundary, and I can release things and I can let them go. But I try my hardest at whatever I'm trying to get at. And then I say, okay, this is no longer serving me, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job. I've been in jobs before where I said, this is really not good for my mental health. Even if it's financially rewarding, I have to leave, and I choose myself.
I have a funny example of that, I don't know how much time we have, but there was after college, I couldn't get a job, so I became a bread maker at 1 in the morning was the start of my job, and I would make thousands of loaves of bread
Yes.
for this big bread company. Then so when I was done, by the time I was cleaning up, it was like 8 AM, and, I hear the boss yelling at everybody in the front, and I'm in the back, like, cleaning, but I was finishing up the last batch, and I was so nervous of him yelling that I was breaking eggs and didn't realize how many eggs I broke and the shells and then and then I just didn't care because I wanted to get out of there. I remade the bread, had shells in it that day. That was my last day. I knew I was leaving. I couldn't handle that, but that's like, it
What?
served its purpose and then it was time for me to move on.
Right. And I mean, even though that was a long time ago, I mean, women are still experiencing this now. If you're not retired, if you're what do I do next and where does my career take me? Because I went to college and then I decided, I don't want to work in corporate America. I don't want to work with all these men. There is in my opinion, there is a glass ceiling when it comes to women. And I've experienced that, and I feel like I wanted to always work for myself, and to do that was very empowering. And also, because this is such a small town, I didn't know if massage therapy was actually going to even be a thing when I started, and to have it be successful was
Mhm.
was very empowering too.
Yeah, 'cause you've been around for a while. I mean, wellness and all this stuff is all popular now, so those places are popping up now, but, like,
Right,
you've been around for a while,
right.
so that's huge, yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, we just want you to know what we feel is empowerment, and let us know if you have anything that you want to tell us about. Give us an empowering story or share in the comments. What empowers you and what you think empowerment is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to this podcast. We're gonna do this weekly, and it's all gonna be about empowering and wellness and adventures.
And we're going to interview some really great women that are very inspiring, and it's not just going to be us all the time.
Right. It's gonna be great. So, thanks, and keep on living empowered.
Namaste.